Make a U-turn. In 1,000 feet, slide left, take the next left, sharp left, turn right on, continue on, in a quarter mile, at the light, in 600 feet, turn right on.
You have reached your destination.
Yep. All right, so in the background you can hear my my compressor just finish. Because I'm using it to run this little palm sander, and I am taking the top layers of this red paint off, right? And to top this red paint, I am going to put black epoxy primer. Oh my gosh, why don't you take it down to a bare metal, you may ask. I don't want to go that far down, honestly. So this red paint is coming up with some difficulty. So aside from some areas where I will need to do some minor body work, it's not done badly. It's done pretty well, actually. I did want to point out one area that this is going to stand me in good stead. You can see there. High spot, low spot. Right there in the center, low spot. You can even feel it just about. So, I'm not color sanding. I am, in fact, getting things down to a really good, what do you call it? Not base level, but a nice even level amongst all of this stuff, okay? So this will stand me in good stead later on when I do put that epoxy primer down, sand that, color sand it, etc., etc. So this is helping me to fill in some low spots and spots that I just didn't think I'd be doing body work on. So I've got half of this done. I have half of the roof done. Ow. And I'm beginning to work now on the rear part. Okay, so if ever you do this on your own, you do in fact have the ability, or you got the option rather, of taking this down to bare metal. I've got some bare metal here. You don't necessarily have to if there's already a paint job there that you trust or want to trust. I want to trust this. If you're going to repaint your car and you didn't want to use primer, I don't necessarily have to use primer, because I've got some metal that's rough enough where paint would stick to it, but car paint won't chemically bond to that. Car paint will chemically bond to car paint and to epoxy primer once I have it on there, right? Non-water-based paints have solvents. They're all solvents-based, so they more or less melt the very top layers of whatever they're going on to, and then chemically bind to it. Okay. So what I'm getting at is I could legitimately take this stuff all down to something like this, milky white, and paint over it. This stuff is rough enough where paint will stick to it mechanically. If you zoomed in and zoomed in and zoomed in, you would see that the surface of this has all kinds of hills and hollers and mountains and et cetera, et cetera. And that's what the new coat of paint would hang on to. Again, I'm going to take this all down as it is, and then epoxy prime over it. This is the original paint. It's still in good condition, but it could definitely use a good bath if I was going to use it. Notice the difference between known good paint, or paint that was there, versus paint that's been scuffed up. Again, you're looking for the milky white. This same thing, the same philosophy, science, art, works for color sanding. It works for the clear coat. On this car, I'm doing all of the body work before I do any of the other work on the frame. I'm going to redo the battery boxes, plus engine, plus etc. So I have a lot of opportunity to put a lot of clear coat onto this thing, and I'm going to make this thing glow at night. It's going to be beautiful. Given how dinky this little puppy is, that's a Harbor Freight, surprisingly working very well, little piece of tool. I can get up in there. and up in there, and et cetera, et cetera. I don't necessarily have to, but I'm going to because, you know, I've got a piece of equipment that'll take it down that far. So hell yeah. And then all of this gets done. I'm going to, wow, this is really wavy. I will make this nice and smooth as well. And, you know, in terms of body work, there's not much on this cardle. There's not much. I did the major part of it up there mechanically. And then some of it down here to even out. That's not going to be tough. And then a good hard blowdown with compressed air plus my leaf blower. That thing's awesome. And a wipe down of all the dust. And it's paint job time. I have another hour to an hour and a half of sanding to get all this stuff down, if that. If that. And then another week of 3 or 4 hours each to do oopses and bitses and this kind of stuff. Getting this gutter and the front gutter and so forth stripped is going to include a wire wheel and a drill. And it's just painful and slow, but got to get done. So, and then likely, I'm guessing, not likely, I'm guessing there's going to be some pitting within here. Like right in there may be some pitting. So, more work to get done. Okay, well, that is done. And let's see, this took me all of about an hour and a half, to be honest. I see happy news, stuff like this, like I mentioned before, low spots. Maybe I shouldn't be doing that with my bare hand, but low spots and some high spots. Once I prime this and then I sand all that down to make it nice and even, I'll have a really nice surface to put paint onto. So I'm pretty excited. Got a lot of dust still to wipe off, but that's okay. I've taken zero effort to take the paint out of these gunnels and gutters and thoses and theses and so forth. I've got a mental list of things I got to get done prior to painting. Oh yeah, check this out. Squirrel. This used to be a good, half an inch to an inch tall. I've taken that down. That's about as far as I will take it down. And you can see that in this area here, especially through here, I've got some filling to do. And I'll use fiberglass for that, not Bondo. And why do we use fiberglass over Bondo? Because Bondo is hydrophilic. And yeah, that's why we also put, epoxy primer down. The epoxy primer, you can dunk an entire piece of something with epoxy primer into water and it won't rust because the epoxy primer coats everything. I have since made inquiries to find the louvered pieces that go into here from Kilmartins. I haven't heard back from them, but I'm going to order the louvered pieces. What else? Well, that's it for now. It's raining outside again. I took a little bit of time to smooth some of this down. I've got some high spots. Whoops, but I did a pretty nice job, I think. That's 20 minutes of sanding, if that, and then some more filling and feathering in. That looks pretty good. Oh, oops, I've got some work here to do. So this is pretty much what I do. I'll do things in stages. I'll do the first stage of something and then put my hands physically onto it to find the areas that I need to work on. Once I've got the primer coat on this, I'll take a red marker or something and find the spots that then need subsequent work. So, actually, I think what I might do next, I have all this bare metal on the inside that I need to treat with the rust cutter. Not that there's rust here, but it's a good coat. I might just do that next. It's still early. I'll just do it tomorrow. I don't know, one of the two. But there we go. I am pretty happy. Given how quickly I've been able to do this, There's a little bit of a low spot there. Some work in there to do. Definitely some work in there to do. I'll then scrub down these fiberglass fenders and take my orbital to them, scuff them up a little bit, and see what I have. I think they're pretty good. The surface, the gel coat looks really good on these. So I've got some good things to work with here. When I go to paint this though, I've got to really lower these stilts. So I'm going to need help taking the body off, putting it gently onto the ground, cutting these pieces down, and then putting it all back together. So I can reach the roof without having to stand on the ladder. I'll have better coverage that way. So more tomorrow. And I'm done. All of the paint and junk removal from the gutters. Oh wow, I got too aggressive there. The paint and the gutters I'm done with. I see a little bit of rework I'm going to redo, I think. But what's left, I need to wipe this thing down. I've got a little bit more there to do maybe. Wipe this whole thing down. I've blown it down a couple times. There's some work in there. I'll find some spots here or there that I'll take a sandblaster to. Actually, I think I'll take a sandblaster to a lot of the stuff all throughout here. I've got some shit that I want to get rid of. Especially in there. But I'm done. I am finished with all of the stripping that I'm going to strip, aside from what I just showed you. And I'm going to prime this thing. Let's see, today's Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday. I might prime this on Friday. I want to set my garage up. Plastic on the floors, etc. Because that stuff goes everywhere. And then I will get into what I'm going to call the fine-tuning of the bodywork. Such as filling that in, filling in the other side, etc., etc. I like to do priming on top of bare metal or on top of the surface that's going to get primed. And then I do body work and any filler and etc. after that, right? Because that primer is fucking awesome. That epoxy primer takes a jackhammer just about. I jest, but it's strong stuff. And I don't want to take a rock chip and then go all the way through to something that's, you know, got body work or Bondo or whatever underneath of it. So, tomorrow I take the rust cutter and get everything that I have not done thus far. I could do that tonight, maybe. And then have it ready for priming and so forth later. But yeah, I got a little bit in. No, it's yeah. I've got some in there that I'm gonna have to sandblast. I think I might just do that tonight. I've got time. Nice day out there. Yeah. So all of the major work is done. What's left is all of the minor stuff, and I will have a lot of minor stuff, I think. Yeah, like that, and perhaps this, and that little dip right there, and on and on and on. I sure wish I could wash this, but no, bare metal. I'll just probably take a foxtail to it and get all the dust off and so forth. Well, I'm happy. Very happy.